What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marvel of a Matter back with another video. And today, what I'm going to talk about is how the media affects women's choices in men, right? How the media affects women's choices in men, because it absolutely does. So I had an amazing conversation with a client a couple of days ago. He bought an hour coaching session, and we ended up talking for like 2.5 hours just because the conversation was so good. There was such good information being exchanged. And I'm probably going to get a lot of content out of that conversation. There's a lot more, probably maybe like 2-3 more videos that will probably come out of that, just because we cover so much stuff. But this one in particular, this is mainly him, like what he brought to my attention. Now I talk about types, and I talk about how, you know, if you're a certain type, certain women are going to be attracted to you. And if you're a certain type, right, that might even be more important than you being handsome, right? You'll get more women interested in you that like that type than if you're just generically handsome, right? Then you might get some here, you might get some there, but it's not strong enough of a pull to get more than a guy who fits a specific type, right? When you fit a specific type, girls know, okay, I like this type. Other things about you don't really matter as much because you fit their type. Right, so that's something I've talked about. Now, what he brought to my attention was that the media pushes certain types at different times, and right now they're pushing a certain type. So back in the day when I was growing up, and a little bit before that, so the women that are like, you know, millennials pretty much, so late 20s to, we'll say 40, right? We'll say late 20s to 40, that era. The guys that were being pushed at that time were much more clean cut, right? These are the, if you're black, Morris Chestnuts, Shamar Moores, Boris Kojos, right? Even the R&B singers at the time. It was like Usher, super clean cut. Trey Songz had to cut his hair and become more clean cut to really make it. Mario, Chris Brown, but it was Chris Brown back then when he was super clean cut, right? Not really any tats. He was just like a real commercially acceptable guy. If you're white, Justin Bieber back then, you know what I'm saying, when he was really clean cut, Colgate smile, super innocent, right, wholesome look. You had the Brad Pitts, Leonardo DiCaprio's, you know what I'm saying, Matthew McConaughey's, just super guy, just all American guys, right? That was the look back then that they pushed. And so those women were looking for that guy. When I was growing up, you being more clean cut, more preppy was like a better look, right? It would get you a lot of women being like that. It would get you a lot of women being like, looking like the guys that were in those movies, or the guys that were those R&B singers. Real just clean, always had the fresh cut, waves, you know what I'm saying? The little R&B look that I was talking about, the little goatee with the mustache. You know, be fit, still be attractive, but like dress real clean, you know what I mean? That was the look, and that was what would get you girls. What my client brought to my attention is that right now it's a completely different look, and because of that, women are not really looking for that clean cut anymore, that clean cut guy. They're not really looking for that anymore. It's a different response that you'll get if you are the clean cut guy. You're just not in demand as much. The edgier guy is in demand now, right? And even I'll use Justin Bieber and Chris Brown as an example, because they were able to, you know, withstand the test of time and be relevant in both times. Their image shows you, like, how they're changing is showing you how the guy that's being pushed has changed. That's how they're able to stay relevant. They're all tatted up now. They got facial hair. They just look a lot more edgy. They're with their chains, they're this, they're that. It's completely different from the look they had back in the day. And this is the look that women are looking for, right? The R&B singers all look like rappers. You know what I mean? Rappers are still popping, but they look even more edgy. Even actors that are popular are just more edgy. Everybody's just more, like, it's more acceptable to have tats. It's more acceptable to just be an edgier guy. The beard is in, right? All that stuff. That's the look that's sexy now, right? That's the look that's portrayed as the most desirable look. And so the guys who fit into that category do really well. I always talk about the Monkey app. The guys who are doing really well on the Monkey app have that edgy look. They all have tats. They all have like just a look that just looks more like, you know what I'm saying? They're not clean cut. They got longer hair, maybe braids, whatever it is. The guy who probably to me gets the craziest reactions, the most sexual reactions from women on the Monkey app is Jameer. This guy right here. He gets crazy reactions from women, and he's all tatted up. And one of the things that they always say is a go-to. Ooh, you tatted up like a Chipotle bag. Girls love to say that. They love to say that, and they love that look. They're programmed because they're growing up. Let's say that a girl's 21, 22. She was born in like 2004, 2005, right? So she's not really paying attention to Chris Brown and, you know, all those guys that I mentioned. She's not, Justin Bieber, she's not really paying attention to them. Back then, she's a little girl, right? But she's a teenager in 2018. She's like 14. Maybe we'll go a little bit lower. Maybe she's in middle school and she starts looking at boys, right? So this is 2017, 2018, around that time. This is when she's being imprinted. So the guys who are being pushed at this time are edgier. This is when, you know, this is Chris Brown and Justin Bieber are going through their phase. This is when they're getting their tats, right? These are the Migos are some of the biggest artists in the world, right? This is a time when edgier guys. The Jacquees is out. He's tatted up. He's popular at the time. Post Malone, all these guys are tatted up. Like Machine Gun Kelly, all these guys are like popular guys. They're edgy. These are the imprints of the girls who are in that age range. This is when they grew up. So to them, this is what's attractive. This is what they learn to go after, to see as a desirable man. So guys who fit that are doing very well right now. Guys who are tatted, who look edgy. You got dreads, you got long, you know what I'm saying, long braids. You got whatever it is, bearded, muscular, masculine, right? But edgy. That look is really in right now. And that's something that you can use to your advantage, because if you're not that, now I'm not telling you to go get tatted, I'm not telling you to change who you are, but what I'm saying is you can, understanding that women's preferences is largely dictated by the media, can help you understand what their preferences are. And then if you so choose to, you can become more similar to the preferences. Like me, I'm not getting tatted just because girls like tatted guys. It's not happening, right? But maybe I'll grow my beard back out, right? Maybe I'll do that a little bit. Maybe I'll let my hair grow out a little bit, let it be a little edgier. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's certain things. Maybe, you know, I'll add a chain, little things to just help myself, right? Clothing wise, okay, what's in right now? Pay attention to that. Pay attention to your presentation. Again, it all comes back to presentation. With women, presentation is the most important thing. Who you actually are. At least in terms of attracting a woman, presentation is the most important thing. Who you are on the inside is who you are on the inside. Be who you are on the inside. But the way you present yourself to a girl, to women, you will attract more women if you curate your presentation to attract certain women. You have control over that. At the base level, we're all humans anyway, so even if she likes your presentation, even if y'all get along on that surface level, doesn't mean you're going to get along internally anyways. So attract the women that are into whatever the look is, you know, let it be closer to your look, of course, something that you don't change everything about yourself, right? But control your presentation, curate your presentation to be effective, to be something that's going to be beneficial to you in the dating world. And then see how it goes. That's really all you can do. But with the knowledge, you can control it a little bit better. Because if you're gonna self-improve, right? If people are doing the self-improvement thing and you're doing all this in order to do better with women, which a lot of guys are, then this is a good aspect, because you can just randomly improve. Like, okay, yeah, if you get bigger muscles, yes, that's gonna help you. Yeah, for sure. But a lot of these guys who do well on Monkey app or whatever, they don't have big muscles. They're not, you know, completely skinny or fat, right? They're in a certain range, but you don't have to be super muscular to get women. A guy who's tatted up, you know what I'm saying, has that edgy look, is going to do better, at least with young women, than a guy who's muscular. Let's say they have the same face, the same, you know, they're twins, but one's edgy and, you know, has dreads and, you know, is tatted up. The other one's muscular, clean cut, you know, dresses in a certain way that's very maybe preppy. The guy who has the edgier look, the twin who has the edgier look, is going to do better, right? So you don't want to just randomly self-improve. You want to self-improve in a way, or you want to, if you're going to change yourself, if you're going to change things about yourself, you want to change them in a way that's going to be more beneficial to you. That could be for women, that could be for work, that could be for whatever it is, but you just want to be smarter about the way that you're making adjustments, so that you're not just making random adjustments in your life, right? So I thought that was a very, very interesting part of the conversation that my client and I had, and something that's very useful. If you just pay attention to what is popular and you kind of steal from it a little bit, just take, okay, I can do this part, I'm cool with this part, I'm cool with this part. The more you add to it, the more you fit into, honestly, it's crazy, but with women, the more you fit into I'm damn near a stereotype, damn near a caricature, right? The more you fit into that, the easier it is for them to process you or feel comfortable with you, because they feel like they know what to expect. And when they feel like they know what to expect, they're more comfortable with you. They know what it is, right? So if you're edgy, there's certain qualities that come with that. They're comfortable with that. They know. But if you're just kind of like, they can't really get a read on you, they don't really know like what's his style, what is he about, what is he this, that can work in your favor maybe if you come off mysterious a little bit, but for the most part, they're not going to be like comfortable with that, right? So that's the video for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Drop some more topics in the comment section. I got my coaching calls in the description box, Instagram in the description box, and y'all know what it is. It's mind over matter, Marvel over matter. Let's get it.